Welcome back to the over 4,000 Ravens fans subscribed to the channel. Today, we need to talk about an opportunity that the Ravens have to sign Ardarius Washington back to the team.
Million people watching us. This is a great opportunity.
Solidify one of the defensive backfields in all of football. Ardarius Washington is the highest rated football player that's currently listed as a free agent for the Baltimore Ravens. There's a reason that I think we have an opportunity to capitalize. He's in a position that, of course, isn't great for him, but for the Baltimore Ravens, it's as great as it can be. He's a player that has proven that he can play at a high level within the Ravens system, but doesn't have enough experience and doesn't really have enough of a household name to be attractive for other teams to take a chance on. Other teams think that they can create Ardarius Washington. Now, is that true? I don't think so. The Ravens have a very good way of getting players to the next level, maturing them and helping them grow. But other teams think they can do the same thing. So we are in the front seat to re-signing Ardarius Washington as a Baltimore Raven. And we can give him a deal that is similar to a deal that we gave to Bateman. A deal that is friendly for the player, that makes the player feel like he's valued and trusted. However, you can pay him less than other players who hit free agency at that same position just because he will be better for the Ravens than he would be for those other teams to take chances on. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is a no-brainer for the Baltimore Ravens. We already know that the contracts will work out how the contracts work out, and we have faith in Eric DeCosta to get it done. But the no-brainer is that Ardarius Washington was arguably the third best defender on our entire football team last year. You always going to have Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey above him for their performances last year. They were the bedrock of that defense. Ardarius Washington was the glue that actually got us back to being a successful defense, and his ability to just consistently make plays again and again and again is just super valuable. So let's talk about some reasons why I believe we have to make him a priority and re-sign him as soon as possible. The first reason that signing Ardarius Washington is a no-brainer is simply because the need is extremely high. We cannot have a pass defense as bad as it was in the beginning of the season. It can't happen again. There are games that we lost because of that. We need them to be better from the start of the season. And the reason they were better at the end of the season is because of Ardarius Washington. He has a high ability to play coverage, and that's exactly what we needed. He has a great ability to be in the right spots. That's exactly what we need. This is the biggest reason that we have to re-sign him, because if we take a step back in defensive backfield, it's just something that we cannot tolerate because we are on a thin line now. We are in a win now scenario. Our window is open right now, and we have to do everything we can to attack that window. And honestly, offense has not been the problem the last couple of years. Defense was the problem in the beginning of the season, even though they played better. But the reason they played better was Ardarius. So we have to keep him on the team because his ability and his skill set beautifully fit what the Ravens can do and what the Ravens want to do. And speaking of that fit, one of the reasons that they fit so well, and another reason we should keep Ardarius, is because he is truly versatile. Is he the most versatile player on the defense? No. You guys hear how much I love Kyle Hamilton? Kyle Hamilton can play linebacker, safety, and slot cornerback. But Ardarius can play slot cornerback, and play safety. This is something that is incredible for our team. He can be a plug-and-place player, and it's really going to help everyone out. If we need help back there in the deep third, we can do that. If we need him to do a deep cover one, he can do that. And I'll show you his grade a little later, which shows he's one of the best coverage safeties in the National Football League. However, if we need him to cover smaller slot receivers, he can do that at a high level. He's shown the ability to cover tight ends effectively. He's shown the ability to, of course, play safety and not let big plays happen effectively, better than some of the players that we had at the beginning of the season. We have been gifted the luck of the draw with Ardarius Washington. The Ravens didn't know how good he was coming into the season. But if you watch the games, you know that he can come up and make tackles. You know that he can play in the slot. You know that he can play deep thirds, deep ones. He can do it all. He has shown he's a perfect match for this Ravens defense, but more importantly, he's a perfect match for Kyle Hamilton. A lot of times we don't take into account players on defense the same way we do with players on offense. It's obvious to us that we need to get Derrick Henry because he's a perfect complement to Lamar Jackson. Well, Darius Washington is a perfect complement to our best defensive player, Kyle Hamilton. When Kyle Hamilton needs to do this, Darius Washington can do that. When Darius Washington needs to do that, Kyle Hamilton can do this. Because they're both so versatile, there really isn't anything either one cannot do. And because of that, Washington has more value to us than he does to other players because his versatility matches so well with Kyle Hamilton's versatility. Another reason that you just want Darius Washington on your team is simply because he's a baller and he can cover anyone he needs to cover. When you look at the coverage grade for Darius Washington, it was one of the highest in the National Football League, and it has to be called out. When it comes to coverage grade, Pro Football Focus gave him an 84.2, which is the 7th best grade of all safeties in the National Football League. This is a player who was not a starter coming into the season, posting a top 10 rating for the most important part of a game for a safety, the ability to cover. Then, when you look at all his grades together, you see that he has an overall grade of 80.3, making him the 11th best safety in the National Football League. The Ravens need a player like that. This is the player that is going to be with us for a long time if he can stay healthy. He's proven that he's one of the best coverage players in the entire National Football League. And of course, Pro Football Focus doesn't give you the splits, and what they graded on a play-by-play basis. But I would argue that his ability to cover players at the slot cornerback position and the safety position are both extremely high. I really didn't see times this year where he got beat obviously and evidently. Brandon Stevens, on the other hand, got beat obviously and evidently several times, all the time. And I would argue that Darius Washington is actually a top 10 safety because Pro Football Focus doesn't account for his ability to do everything. So not only is he great at coverage, but he's also one of the best tacklers at the safety position that I've seen in a long time. He's not afraid to really throw his body in there and make tackles. We've seen it when he hit Russell Wilson. We've seen it when he was able to make a stop on the Texans running back, Joe Mixon. He's always making plays with tackling and with his coverage ability. He's just an awesome player, and we have an opportunity to sign him. We have to sign him. He's just that great. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. So you guys let me know in the comments below what you think about Darius Washington being ranked our number 1 best player that's going to hit free agency. And I don't think he'll hit it because we just need him so bad, and I don't think the price is too expensive. Thanks, and go Ravens.